We're now being joined by Glenn Carl, who's a former national intelligence officer from the CIA and national security and foreign policy expert. He's joining us live from Boston. Glenn, good to see you and thank you very much for making time for us. Let's try and analyze the statement made by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He says that Israel lacks credible plans to protect some 1.4 million civilians in Rafah. He also warned that Israeli attack in the southern city of Gaza can create an insurgency by failing to kill all Hamas militants. Your response?
Well, I think the Secretary of State is spot on. It's, I think, been clear, at least from my perspective, but the perspective of many, that Israel never had a likely prospect of destroying Hamas through a military action, through an invasion of Gaza. And that has been the case. Unless the Israelis were to kill all of the Palestinians, I'm not being facetious, it is almost certain that Hamas would survive because they are not widely supported by all Palestinians who are less extremist in their views, generally speaking, but they do have the sympathy of being resistance to Israeli domination. So that is one aspect of the dilemma. And then, as Secretary Blinken said, the second one is, absent a plan for what happens after the war, there's no likely alternative right now to fill the vacuum created by the destruction from the invasion. So it is a bleak future if Israel continues its invasion. And it's a bleak future if Israel stops, because Hamas, we shouldn't be naive about this, is a hideous institution that is vowed to kill every Jew and destroy Israel. So it is not a happy way forward.
Mr. Carl, let's also analyze something, or the latest development right now. We see that Egypt has decided to announce its intention to join South Africa or formally support South Africa in their bid at the International Court of Justice. And now Turkey has joined the party. What's the impact of that?
Well, that's a harder question to answer for me. I don't really know what the impact will be. I mean, it certainly increases pressure internationally, diplomatically, on Israel. Israel has, through its invasion, progressively isolated itself and even strained, as much as I've ever seen in my lifetime, relations with the United States. What diplomatic isolation does is make it slowly more difficult for Israel going forward, either with respect to the Gazan war or afterwards. But I don't think it will be decisive at all in changing Israel's positions. What will do that, if ever, is internal to Israel, a change in the balance of power among the various factions of far right and moderate center and left, and that no one has found a way forward, despite years of millions of Israelis demonstrating against the policies and man of Netanyahu himself.
All right, I've been talking to Glenn Carl, who's a former national intelligence officer from the CIA and national security and foreign policy expert. Mr. Glenn, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Anytime, thanks.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.